welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Lara Cotter.
And I'm Skye Orchard.
And Skye, is this note in here correct?
I don't know. I saw the other day in the email pop-up that I sometimes look at before I swipe away that Podbean sent us a happy 50th episode.
Woo! Go us! I didn't even see that email. Well, I think that includes our little intro one, like the little get ready for us one.
So I guess this episode then would be the 50 full. So I guess happy 50 full today.
Yay!
And it's also been a year, right?
It wasn't later in September? It was this early in September?
I thought it was early September because we released the same day Sabrina released in.
To be fair, this summer has zapped so much in my brain that I struggle to remember anything before June. So... Well, lovely for us. I love that.
Oh, you're right. September 26th is when we'll reach a year.
It's close enough.
I guess we can remember to get ourselves cake.
Well, I just found out that Harmon's makes a really nice custom cake.
Oh.
So maybe we can figure out something there. How do we feel for doing this for 50 episodes in a year?
What a year. I feel like this podcast is becoming a little... unwanted time capsule of all this stuff going on in the world.
That is definitely one part of it. Speaking of which, election season's coming up again soon. So if you haven't registered to vote, now's the time to do it. I know it's just municipal elections this year, but those are still really important. Everybody knows my name is Laura Cotter. If you search Laura Cotter, Utah, you're going to find me. My mother is on a local city council. And so I've been helping her run her campaign. And local city politics is more important than I think you would think. They don't have a ton of control over the big issues, but a lot of those people are the ones who then go on to the larger roles. And so it's important to get the people you want representing you in those lower levels to then move up to those bigger roles.
Agreed.
Speaking of local elections too, there's a lot of, often these are ones where people end up running unopposed and they stay in these seats for forever. And I know we have a lot of younger generation listeners, millennials and Gen Zs, and maybe now's the time to start thinking about if you can contribute and run for an office. I've definitely thought about doing that in my own community for some school board things. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be hard. Mostly people are just looking for someone who is a rational human being who wants to make the world a better place. It's a real low bar out there, guys.
Could certainly use more of those.
Well, there's our political talk for the episode. Oh, washing machine talk. So I almost came to you with no update. I do have a small update. So the part was ordered. It got delivered on Friday. And the repairman texted me today saying, hey, can I come tomorrow from 2 to 4? And I said, yes, absolutely. Please do. So tomorrow it may be fixed, potentially.
I'm impressed he was able to find the part on the washing machine black market.
I am too. I am mildly concerned that he's going to get here and it's going to be the wrong model. And it's going to be like, oh, never mind. We're going to be back to square one. So fingers crossed. I am tired of talking about this. I'm sure everybody's tired of listening to it. I would like this to come to a conclusion.
What did Spotify call it? For those who have Spotify, sometimes they actually make fairly accurate chapters for our episodes.
Some of the chapter titles are funny and some of them are just like short and dumb. And I feel like it almost sounds like it's different people making it. I know it's all AI. Last episode, it was called Kicking Off with Appliance and Walking Pad Adventures.
We're so exciting.
Oh, man.
Spotify finds us thrilling.
I did like the chapters on episode 12. I think they're my favorite, especially for From Bad Moods to Bubbler Lights, a pre-episode rant session.
I like that they used a colon, our favorite punctuation mark.
Yes. But then episode 11, this is where I was like, it sounds like it's almost written by different people because episode 11 was just like episode details, cast and crew insights. And that's just a chapter. But anyway.
Are the TV Guide writers writing our chapter titles?
I think they all got fired for TV Guide and now they write for Spotify. Your question of the week. What's your favorite fairy tale?
My brain is quickly scanning all of the Shrek movies. I'm going to go ahead and say Puss in Boots. He has little boots.
Oh, that's a good one. Would you like to be in Puss in Boots?
You know, if I can have a little sword, be a little kitty cat, wear some cool boots, I'm in. Sounds like a better career.
You should be Puss in Boots for Halloween.
We've said so many different things we should be for Halloween. One of us was supposed to be the lint monster.
I work for the government now. I am limited in my choices. I'm going to go as Leslie Knope this year because I do work in the department that oversees Parks and Rec.
Love that. Okay, what fairy tale for you?
Oh gosh, what fairy tale would I choose? Well, it was like when I was thinking first nursery rhymes, Little Bo Peep is my favorite nursery rhyme. I guess I'll like go with that as like a children's fairy tale.
Checks out.
I've actually gone as Little Bo Peep for Halloween.
I have not gone as Puss in Boots.
Well, make that dream happen. That or the news chicken.
News chicken, lint monster, Puss in Boots. Might as well do like a poll, because I think there was another one in one of our episodes.
Someone go back and listen through our episodes for us.
Tell me all the things I need to be, and then we can do a poll.
I'll send you a poster for doing the work for us, because that's a lot of work. Let's get into our episode.
Let's do it.
This is season 2, episode 16, Sabrina and the Beanstalk. Do we not have a Paramount Plus description this time? As I'm reading TV Guide, you look at the Paramount one. Our TV Guide description: Sabrina accidentally whips up a giant beanstalk and Harvey ends up on top of it being fattened up by a hungry witch. And our Paramount Plus description.
Do 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 do. I forgot I had Paramount on my phone to make it easy to pull this up. You ready for this?
Yes.
Sabrina's beanstalk is right out of a fairy tale, but it's more like a nightmare for Harvey.
Ooh, I like that.
It was well worth the anticipation there.
Yes, 100%. This originally aired February 6, 1998. We have returning director Peter Baldwin and returning writers Renee Phillips and Carrie Honning-Bloom. We have a few guest stars. First off is Shelley Long as the Wicked Witch, most notably known as Diane from Cheers and a few episodes of Frasier. She's also a recurring character in Modern Family and then had appearances on Murphy Brown and MASH. Then there's Jennifer Eccles as clerk number 1 from The Notebook, ER, The Lady Killers, Save the Last Dance, and Married with Children. Ezra Buzzington is clerk number 2 from Fight Club, The Hills Have Eyes, The Middle, and Bones. AJ Callahan is clerk number 3 from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Night Court reboot, The Will and Grace reboot, Superstore, Gilmore Girls, and Friends. Kevin Knotts is the tree trimmer from My Wife and Kids, Gangland, and Redemption. And last, we have Donna Hardy as Old Woman from Superbad, When Harry Met Sally, Bones, ER, Monk, and then she will also be back in an episode for our very last season, season 7.
As an old woman.
Can I remember from season 2 to season 7 that she's been here before? We shall see.
Guess we'll find out in many moons.
All right. What are your overall thoughts on this episode, Skye?
It was a fun little episode. I feel like the beanstalk part wasn't necessary. They like combined different fairy tales. If you're gonna do the whole beanstalk, like give me a giant. Commit. I liked the evil Wicked Witch plot line. I just think it could have occurred in a different way for the same effect.
But they couldn't have sent Harvey to the other realm again.
No, that poor boy and his brain.
At least he didn't have his brain magically altered this time. He was just gaslit at the end.
Severely gaslit. That's fine. That's healthy.
I really like this episode. It's one that I remember pretty fondly. For some reason, though, and I don't know if it was just I'm tired or had a lot of other things on my mind, I had a rough time really paying attention and getting into it when I was doing my second watch. So my notes are pretty sparse. I will say, compared to last week, where we had like 4 very disparate storylines going on that didn't really seem like they belonged together, at least this one, like the A plot, the B plot, and Salem's tiny little C plot, like they all were part of the same overarching story, which was nice.
It was nice.
All right. Our cold open. Salem is drinking like a dog out of a mug because he just started a new exercise program.
He needs to replenish his fluids, then he'll get to the exercise part.
Zelda comes into the kitchen wearing a glittery helmet. It's the first portable X-ray helmet, and it has a pair of very glittery, nice bow lips on it for some reason.
Why not?
Zelda tries to put it on, but it's too heavy and she hits her head on the table. Sabrina is upset because all the Wheatios, not Wheaties, not Cheerios, Wheatios, are gone, and Salem changes the subject by talking about Addis Ababa.
Letting us know that it is the capital of Ethiopia. I feel like Salem probably only knows that because he tried to conquer it during his world takeover.
I was fully expecting a paragraph of like, this is their top export. Like,
not gonna lie, I did start reading that far.
What is their export, Skye?
Life be crazy. I can't even remember anymore. I didn't go far for y'all, and I think I think that's okay this time.
Do you want me to tell you?
If you've looked it up in this time.
Just Google search. Well, it's mostly just Ethiopia in general. It's coffee, gold, oil seeds, cut flowers, live animals, and leather products.
Oh, one fun thing is they have a very large lion population in their zoo with over 15 male lions, and they're all genetically distinct. So they have been part of the World Breeding Program to help the lion population. I remembered that from like 12 hours ago. Boom.
I'm proud of that brain of yours. Do you know how they do like the breeding programs in zoos?
I've read slightly about it. It's very, very intense.
So I have friends that work at the zoo. What it's turned into in recent years is basically Tinder for zoo animals.
Oh my gosh.
And you're like, we have this red panda female and we want to breed her. And like, we're going to search through all the red panda males in the zoos that are ready for breeding. And then we're going to like slide into the DMs of this other zoo and say, hey, we think your panda looks hot. Do you think our panda looks hot?
Oh my gosh. I don't know how I feel.
I love it so much. When our zoo was breeding their red panda, they even like did an online social media campaign with the zoo that was bringing in the male panda. And like they wrote love letters between the red pandas. It was hilarious.
I missed that completely.
I'll have to see if I can find it.
Maybe this happens in the back end and they just don't want to share it because people find it boring. I want like those Punnett squares of, okay, if these two make children, here's the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's all on there. Like, instead of like, what are your hobbies? It's like, here's my lineage. Like,
I have a propensity for diabetes or whatever animal conditions.
Yeah, no, I think that's like in there. Like, it's their whole like genetic makeup and stuff. Yeah. So it's not just like, I'm 6'4" and I've never been married.
Cool. I was concerned that we were going fully on animal looks.
Here's a picture of me with a fish. I hope there are pictures of polar bears with fish, though, on the zoo Tinder.
I can eat this fish in 0 seconds.
I'm very excited about the large lion zoo, though. That gives me, if I ever win the lottery, there will be signs. One of them, I will be at that zoo looking at those lions.
I was going to say, you're going to own a lion? Do a lion breeding program?
No. I am not that crazy. I am not own an exotic pet rich lady crazy.
Yet.
Sabrina puts on the helmet and looks at Salem, seeing that he even ate the prize from the cereal box. Our outfit intro is a traditional Scottish outfit, and she says, someone order a scotch? And this is our second country outfit in 2 episodes. And I feel like maybe the writers are running out of outfits to think of.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to start working our way through Europe. Hilda is wearing the X-ray helmet and scanning the mailman.
I wouldn't have picked him for a boxer man. Can we talk about
how creepy that is?
Yes. Come on, Hilda.
Based on what we know of Hilda, are we surprised that she basically has sexually, I don't know, does that cross the line into assault or is that still harassment at that point?
Whatever it is not consensual, and I am okay with Hilda murdering people and trying to eat people, but I think X-ray vision on the mailman might be where I draw the line.
At least she didn't put it on the setting to go under the clothes. Could be worse. Could always be worse with Hilda.
Could always be worse. You are correct.
Harvey arrives and Sabrina quickly clears out anything that might look witchy, like Salem's tiny workout towel and headband and the helmet, and Hilda. Harvey is there to work on the social studies project and hands Sabrina a blank poster board. They start trying to think about their project, which is what is an ideal mode of transportation for Westbridge? And we get a montage of a ticking clock, Harvey and Sabrina staring blankly while sitting on the couch, having a pillow fight in her room, watching TV, watering some plants, braiding Sabrina's hair, and finally Harvey going home.
During said pillow fight, we do see the cauldron for a moment, and it still hasn't reached its full potential. I know we're all shocked to hear that.
The aunts ask Sabrina if they finished their project, but she admits they haven't even started. And she says that they did rotate all the mattresses in the house. And I was like, hey, I actually need to rotate my mattress. Thanks for the reminder, Sabrina. They give her a lecture on procrastination, and Zelda uses Hilda as an example. Hilda tells Sabrina to use magical jumping beans to get motivated. Salem, Hilda, and Sabrina are using the laptop to make them. Unfortunately, they're out of most of the ingredients.
Which we learn for now that the ingredients for magical jumping beans are potassium benzoate, which is a white crystalline powder used for a food preservative, a shot of B12, and fruit extract. Once again, for now.
Sabrina would have loved a Monster energy drink.
Oh, yeah.
Sabrina will have to go to the other realm, Piggly Wiggly, but she doesn't want to because the pigs are bad at making change. Sabrina is about to go to the store, but Valerie's on the phone. The scene flips, and sometime later, Sabrina is talking to Valerie about shampoo and conditioner 2-in-1.
Sabrina is anti 2-in-1 and says, what you gain in time, you lose in body.
How do you feel about an all-in-one product?
You know, I actually bought a 2-in-1 shampoo today because I was out of shampoo. It smells good. I will probably still use my conditioner as well, but in a clinch, works fine.
I can't not use conditioner. That's not an option with my hair.
You need a separate conditioner.
I need like 2 conditioners sometimes. Like sometimes there's a hair mask first and then there's a conditioner on top of that.
My hair is very thick, but I purposely keep it short, so I don't need a lot of any product, luckily.
My hair care bill is pretty high.
I'm just finishing the bottle of color care shampoo that I bought back in, 2022 when I had pink hair, so...
Oh my gosh. And I get like those giant bottles and it's like every 6 months. Hilda is using the X-ray helmet to read Zelda's mail, so Zelda zaps an alarm on it, causing a car alarm noise. Sabrina takes her phone call to the dining room where she sees the laptop and realizes she never went to the store. She hangs up with Valerie, but it's too late now, so she decides to substitute the ingredients. Sabrina adds something to her potion, causing a small explosion, creating a bag of jelly beans.
Says, I knew corn would work as well as phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid wasn't even in the original recipe, Sabrina.
She reads the instructions and tries to shake them in her hand to feel more energetic, but nothing happens. So she throws them in the garbage, then takes out the garbage can to the porch, but procrastinates taking it out to the curb.
And she takes out just the entire kitchen can. She doesn't even tie the bag and pick up the bag to take it out. And then she's like, oh, I'm too tired to take this can out to the curb. Surely there is at least a larger can you put your bag into, and then it goes out to the curb, like a regular format, unless this is East Coast something.
They're fancy on the East Coast. We're heathens out here in the West. I think this is best case scenario. Because had she actually taken it out to the curb and they'd actually put it on the dump truck and they'd taken it to the landfill, now there's a giant beanstalk in the middle of a mortal landfill. I think best case is her leaving the beans on the patio. The next morning, there's a large shaking. There's a beanstalk outside. Zelda asks if anyone threw out magical beans. What's the proper protocol for disposing of magical beans if it's not throwing them out? You have to burn them? Flush them down the toilet?
They're fine in the bag. There's all those jelly beans just sitting in that bag.
Did the garbage act as like a fertilizer? Like food scraps? What? The logic doesn't make sense. That's insane. Sabrina admits she threw out jumping beans, but the package didn't say anything about a beanstalk. She also claims she followed the recipe carefully, with a few substitutions that she can't remember.
Extract of something, some other gobbledygook, and tapioca. Once again, tapioca wasn't in there.
She gets lectured again about procrastination before the ants summon a fog to hide the beanstalk. I did like the fog summoning spell. That was fun.
That was fun.
Zelda then tells them they need to figure out what to do about the giant. Sabrina is shocked. Giant? Hilda informs her that beanstalks always lead to a bad neighborhood, and it's more concerning what might come down than what might go up. They zap Salem to the middle of the beanstalk to stay on guard, because it's not the top, as we later find out. Sabrina asks about a tree trimmer, and Zelda scoffs. The ants start pacing as they try to think of a solution.
One of them being that they have a plutonium-based root killer, though they note that it didn't make a dent on the dandelions.
Those are some strong dandelions. Salem yells down that Harvey is at the front door. Sabrina lets him in and he spots the X-ray helmet. He tries to put it on, but Zelda stops him and Sabrina directs him into the kitchen instead. I didn't include this in my notes, but he asks if it's a virtual reality game and Sabrina says yes. Harvey sees the package of beans and eats some before Sabrina can stop him. He gets pulled backwards through the doors and up the beanstalk. Sabrina grabs the package of beans and grimaces. She really meant to put those away. Who walks into somebody's house and just sees a bag of candy laying out and just goes, hey, I'm going to eat that? Who does that?
I mean, one of the most recent times Harvey's been over, there was literal candy corn falling from the walls that he just got to eat. So he's been trained.
That was at a Halloween party where the expectation was to eat the candy corn. You don't see a small bag of candy and go, mine, I'm going to eat that. That is some feral raised in the woods by wolves behavior. This is not civilized society person behavior.
You don't think if you go over to a friend's house and they have an open bag of Swedish fish and you really good relationship, it's oh, I'm going to grab 2 of those. Like, I'm not going to eat all of them.
I would still ask, like, hey, I'm really hungry. Can I have a Swedish fish, Skye? I would not just help myself to your Swedish fish. Or this is the other acceptable. If it's in a container, like I have little candy containers that are clearly set out to be for like public consumption for guests who come over because they're in cute little containers. That makes sense. Yes, if it's in like a cute little bowl. It's not just a packet laying on the kitchen counter.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go and open up the latch on your cute little container.
It's a little sheep and there's just a little tiny lid and you can see into it. And also, one of the first things that like people are over, I'm like, hey, do you want some candy? Do you want a treat? Do you want a drink? Can I get you anything? Like,
and maybe that's how Sabrina is to Harvey, and he's been trained that he can have a little snack.
He's been over like 3 times, and he's had his memory wiped every time he's over.
Okay, new theory. His memory's been so janky that he forgets he's not in his own house, and he just says, yum, teenage boy, food, done.
I was not expecting this to be the thing that we fight about in this episode.
You know, I don't know why I'm taking such a strong stance on this.
Where's my notes for social media? I'm writing down a poll about was Harvey right or wrong? Would you do this?
I gotta say, if you were Harvey, would you? Because there is context.
Would you eat the beans that we're laying out? Can I say, would you help yourself?
Would you have a little snacky snack? If you were a teenage boy, if you were a teenage boy,
if you're a teenage boy, definitely.
If you're a teenage boy named Harvey Crinkle,
Kinkle, not Kris Kringle. Although Santa also does help himself to some cookies without like...
Well, there you go. If Santa does it.
I will capitulate a little bit in that I did have a guy friend in junior high where he came over to my house one time and he just went straight to my fridge and opened it up and started eating something out of it. And I was just like staring at him like, excuse me, what? Like that feels like a little bit more of a boundary breaking to like physically go into somebody's fridge rather than just eat something that's laying out.
Yeah.
Teenage boys. I've never been one. I don't know how they think. Sabrina yells up the Beanstalk to Salem. He didn't see Harvey because he was too busy looking for a sandwich. Harvey wanders around the clouds and yells for Sabrina, and his wallet chain is very obvious, and I laughed at it. A panicked Sabrina tells the ants what happened to Harvey. First, Zelda pulls down a periscope to look for Harvey.
Hilda has a snarky remark of, you've lived here for 2 years and you never noticed it? And Sabrina asks about this periscope.
They see him knocking on the door of a cottage and a woman answers. Sabrina is relieved that it's not a giant, but Zelda tells her it's worse. It's the Wicked Witch. Sabrina doesn't understand because she looks so pretty. As someone who goes to school with Libby, Sabrina should know that pretty doesn't mean nice.
Savage.
Hilda also points out that the witch has had a lot of work done. Zelda tells Sabrina that the Wicked Witch feeds on mortals. Sabrina starts to go up the beanstalk, but the ants stop her. The high altitude could knock out her powers. Hilda isn't worried. They have time because the witch always fattens them up first. The new plan is for Sabrina to keep an eye on Harvey through the periscope while the ants go to the YMCA, the Yikes Magic Crisis Agency. I feel like that was a shoehorned acronym that the writers were they just wanted to say YMCA.
I think so.
The ants are waiting in line in the other realm. They're stuck behind an older woman whose son was born in that line 52 years ago. Sabrina is getting frustrated that the ants aren't back yet as she watches Harvey. The Wicked Witch introduces herself to Harvey as the woman of the house. He admits he doesn't know where he is. He thinks he must have died.
But I had so much to give, so much to do. I was supposed to mow the lawn.
The witch comforts him and says he's on a way station to heaven, which before I saw the captions, I did at WEIGH, because you know, like those way stations that semi-trucks have to go and like get weighed. That's what I thought it was. But the captions on Pluto did it like WAY, like by the way. I like my interpretation better.
Well, you had originally wrote WAY when you were doing the DVD, but Paramount, I swear, actually did it way WEIGH, and that's why I changed it.
Mine said WAY.
Or maybe I'm hallucinating.
Mine was Pluto, though. Mine wasn't Paramount, so maybe they had different subtitles.
Well, I think I could be hallucinating the captions, and I was like, oh, the captions didn't catch the joke, because clearly the joke is supposed to be about the weight.
I never wrote WEIGH. I just gaslit myself into believing I did.
I wrote that. I changed your spelling of it.
Skye came up with the clever joke, not me. I assumed it was me because it was in my notes. I fully took credit for that joke. Okay, we have one brain. It's fine. We share.
We are an amoeba.
She has him get on a scale and gives the excuse that God doesn't trust skinny people or the French. Harvey's weight comes in at alarmingly svelte, and she is shocked and gives him a stick of butter to eat. Okay, the other weights on this scale, going from lightest to heaviest. We have supermodel, amenorrheic, which means that you don't get your period anymore. So I would love to have Harvey's weight show up as amenorrheic. Alarmingly svelte, fairly yummy, Roseanne-ish, aka just right, referencing Roseanne Barr, and then call Dick Gregory. Do you know who Dick Gregory is, Skye?
I briefly tried to figure that out and gave up. I saw an American actor and comedian.
That is him, and I'll tell you why it's him. So he is a specifically Black actor and comedian who was very involved also in like the civil rights movement, feminism. He was an activist, involved in politics to a degree too. One of his big methods of activism was through hunger strikes. And then he also got really big into vegetarianism later on, saying that you can't advocate for human rights and civil rights without also advocating for animal rights. I understand that logic. He also then promoted a diet plan, which seems probably unhealthy because he claims to have helped the largest man in the world at the time lose 637 pounds in a year, which seems like unhealthy rate of weight loss.
That man's heart. No.
That's the call Dick Gregory joke. Is somebody so overweight that they need to go on this insane diet plan / maybe a hunger strike.
That makes more sense.
It took a long time for me to get to that point to figure out those two. This was a super inside joke. I don't know who this joke was for, to be honest. Sabrina stares in horror as she watches the witch sharpen her knives. She can't wait any longer and heads up the beanstalk. The witch is cutting up peach pie for Harvey with a large helping of fatten up sprinkles. And I put a little note, don't mix up your truth sprinkles and your fattening sprinkles.
That would be unfortunate.
Sabrina is climbing and passes by Salem, who tries to order her to go back down. She refuses, so he wishes her well. Eventually, he decides to face his fear of heights and climb up after her. The answer is still in line as they watch someone wrapped in red tape get carted out. Sabrina reaches the top of the beanstalk and goes to search for Harvey. And she says his name like she forgot why she climbed up there. Like she climbs up, gets to the top, and she's like, ooh, glad that pilot swerved. And then she's like, Harvey, like she forgot.
I mean, it was a long climb.
The answer's still in line and get cut when a guy with a relative in quicksand gets called to the front. Sabrina arrives at the cottage and zaps herself into a suit before knocking on the door. When the witch answers, she claims she's there to sell gingerbread siding to attract kids. I said, what sauce would you use to eat kids? Oh, because she says she likes them with a nice béarnaise sauce. What sauce would you use to eat kids, Skye?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Ooh, that's a good. Oh, gosh. What's my favorite sauce? Ooh, I got it. Did you ever go to Training Table?
Yes.
Did you ever have their ultimate fry sauce? Their ultimate dipping sauce?
I can't remember. That was like 9 years ago.
It's basically their house-made barbecue sauce with mayonnaise, and it's amazing. JCW's basically took over Training Table's menu. So if you go to JCW's and get some cheese fries with the ultimate dipping sauce, amazing.
No, thank you.
No, don't shake your head at me. Okay, next party when we do DoorDash roulette again, I'm ordering GCW cheese fries and ultimate dipping sauce and making you try some. The right amount of tangy. Oh,
barbecue and mayonnaise?
It's like fry sauce, but like a tangier fry sauce.
I don't know.
How do you feel about fry sauce in general?
I love a fry sauce, but something about that barbecue sauce, I don't know.
It works.
Mm-hmm. You never hear from me ever again after this said party. It's because I died.
I stabbed you because you didn't like the ultimate dipping sauce? What are you saying?
Or just killed me. Though if your inclination is to already be planning to stab me, if I don't like your sauce.
Why did you die?
And your brain goes to stab. You stabbed me?
Did you die because you had an allergic reaction to the barbecue sauce? Like, I don't know why else you would die.
It wasn't for me. It literally killed me.
You died because you hated the fry sauce so much.
Not fry sauce. That does not count as
ultimate dipping sauce. You hated the ultimate dipping sauce so much you'd rather leave this earthly existence than inhabit the same plane as it.
Leave this mortal coil. Land in the valley of Hidden Valley Ranch as heaven.
I really question your priorities if it's some bad fry sauce that makes you decide to go. A bad fry sauce, though, is really disappointing. It's It's hard to mess up fry sauce, and when you get a bad one, you're like, ugh. For our outside listeners, if you would ever like to try fry sauce, it's basically ketchup and mayonnaise. I like it to be on the lighter pink side, so I do like a 2-to-1 ratio of mayonnaise to ketchup, but you can play around with it. Some people put relish in there. You can put other spices in there.
Sometimes you get a mustard. Sometimes you get like a little lemon juice. Like there are nuanced notes and flavors to the fry sauce. I'm pretty sure Arctic Circle bottles their fry sauce and you can just order it to your home. You too can try fry sauce, and Arctic Circle's fry sauce is actually pretty damn good.
Heinz now has their stupid mayo chup. They're trying to rip off fry sauce.
You know what wants me to die right now? The name Mayo Chup. Like, goodbye, mortal coil? You just said that name.
Some people try to say that fry sauce is just Thousand Island dressing, and that is so wrong. That is so incorrect.
Filthy liars.
What are we even talking about in this episode? My goodness.
They made a food episode, so here we are.
We're eating some kids with our sauces of choice. The witch gladly invites Sabrina in. She's laying out samples and zaps an example on the wall of some gingerbread. She compliments the witch's decor and starts measuring the room as the witch looks over the sample book. Skye, you didn't include the pun about who did her decor. Did you hear it?
The I am pie?
I am pie.
That's actually a designer.
Wait, really?
It's spelled P-E-I, but there is a well-known Chinese architect named I am pie.
Thought about looking it up for half a second, and then I was like, no, the writers are just being lazy and want to put a food pun in. Well, silly me. I learned something.
Darn it. Forced to learn.
Forced to learn. Forced to eat my ultimate dipping sauce. Sabrina rushes into the kitchen to find a much larger Harvey eating I couldn't tell if it was a chicken leg or a turkey leg. It kind of looked too big to be a chicken leg.
Definitely a turkey.
Like those ones you get at Disney World or the Carnival or the Renaissance Festival.
Yep.
He thinks Sabrina has died too. Sabrina tries to convince him that they need to leave, but he doesn't believe the witch is wicked. Sabrina points out the menu that says Harvey on Wednesday. They start to leave, but the witch comes in. She asks Sabrina about candy cane rain gutters, and Sabrina zaps them on the house, inviting the witch to go outside and look at them. She pats Harvey's stomach before going out. Sabrina and Harvey run into the other room to escape, but the witch reappears and smells that Sabrina is half mortal. She zaps a lock on the door and goes to the kitchen to prepare dinner. Salem continues climbing up the beanstalk. The witch tells Sabrina and Harvey to eat up. Harvey eats while Sabrina tries to pick the lock. And I was like, why is Harvey still eating? He knows what the plan is here. Just stop eating the food, Harvey.
Teenage boy.
But her magic is knocked out. Sabrina grabs Harvey and tells him to eat through the gingerbread wall. The witch comes in, though, and stops them. She's going to move up her dinner party. And as I was looking at the background of this witch's house, I was like, she would love those Lennox spice houses.
Agreed.
Which again, if I was a lottery winner, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs. And one of them would be that I'd have the full set of the Lennox spice houses. Harvey and Sabrina are in a large pot. The witch puts a meat thermometer in Harvey's armpit. This is the second episode in a row where we've had thermometers in armpits or tongues and taking temperatures. The ants are now at the service window and getting their paper stamped, but there's a problem. They're in the wrong line. The window C already sent them to this window. Then he tells them to go to a different window. So Hilda threatens the man. The witch is out of mushrooms for the gravy. Sabrina helpfully offers to get some at the store. She doesn't fall for it. She'll just have to serve them dry. Sabrina starts to try and convince the witch to wait to eat them until tomorrow, when they'll be nice and tender, covered in a mushroom gravy. The witch starts to fall for it. She agrees to eat them tomorrow, then settles down on a stool next to them to read. She also casts a spell to keep them from escaping. Salem continues to climb.
I've got to stop melting cheese and drinking it as a beverage.
That's so gross.
I would take the cheese drink over whatever sauce you told me about.
Lies. You're going to eat this and you're going to be like, I'm sorry, Laura. You are correct. This is really good.
We'll see.
We will see, Skye.
As Laura sharpens her knife.
I will hide the knives. I will put them away. The witch has fallen asleep on her stool, and Harvey notices that they're starting to smell good. Sabrina grabs the witch's finger and uses it to zap the lock on the door, them themselves.
So we're just casually changing the way what I assumed how magic works.
Yep.
That you can now just grab another person's hand and cast magic.
And your intent.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
There's a lot of forcing the magic to work in a way that we haven't seen before. They get out of the pot and sneak past the witch to the front door. As they get out of the cottage, the door slams behind Harvey, waking the witch. Sabrina yells at Harvey and they run for it. The witch comes after them wielding a rolling pin.
Shouting, I don't like fast food.
Did you like the serpentine moment? Like, I think that only works when people are shooting at you. I don't think you need it for when somebody's like chasing you in an unobstructed field of clouds.
Agreed. Maybe they're running like that because their legs have literally been in boiling water for who knows how long?
No, because Sabrina yells serpentine. And then the witch also serpentines.
Trying to explain the fact that there's no repercussions for the fact they were in a boiling pot of water.
Oh. We had a chase sequence through the clouds. As they pass a water pump, Harvey grabs a bucket of water to throw on the witch, but she doesn't melt. They keep running to get down the beanstalk, but the witch zaps herself in front of it, which she could have done a long time ago. Sabrina uses Harvey and his large gut to knock her down. Salem has just gotten to the top when Sabrina and Harvey start climbing down. The witch yells down at them.
You two are dead meat.
Salem tells her to back off. She says she'll eat him for dessert, and he jumps down from the top of the beanstalk, falling past Harvey and Sabrina. Salem lands on his feet. The cute little kitty actor. The ants are at the front of the line again at a different window. This time, they're in the right line. The man tells them they need a tree trimmer. They groan.
Okay.
I like the big inhale you did before starting this comment.
Because this is just an insane comment I am about to make. They are in front of window C, despite the previous scene being told to go to window E after the guy at window B told them E is where people go when C misdirects them to B. However, you pan out on the room and there is no window E in the room. Just send them to D. Don't send them to a window that doesn't exist.
In my headcanon, I choose to believe that window E is like in a different part of the building just to make it even funnier. And that they went to E and then they went back to C.
Maybe.
That's what I choose to believe.
Sometimes you just gotta choose to make it work.
Yep. Harvey and Sabrina are still climbing down. Harvey is sweating off his gained weight and starts to slip, but Sabrina zaps him safe. Her power is back. The witch yells down at them again, and Sabrina zaps up, locking the witch into her house with a huge salad. Sabrina has turned her into a vegetarian.
Which the meal planner on the fridge behind her used to say Hansel Monday, Gretel Tuesday, Harvey Wednesday. Now has couscous for Monday's meal, but for a moment I thought it said conscience, like she has to gain a conscience by eating it, but no, it was just couscous.
No, I didn't notice that change. Well done. They also decide at this point that Westbridge needs a monorail. Are there cities that have monorails?
Las Vegas. We were literally on the Las Vegas monorail in May.
I think of that as like a light rail, like our light rail. I didn't think of that as like a monorail. Okay, I've actually been on a monorail that's not a Disney. We can just edit out this whole part, Skye.
You sure? You're planning on stabbing me, so...
The ants arrive with a tree trimmer in tow just as Sabrina and Harvey reach the bottom of the beanstalk. The tree trimmer goes to the beanstalk and yells, "Timber!" causing it to shrink back down. Harvey faints. And I was like, there must be spells that only specific people can do or that only specific people know in order for there to be specialty jobs. Because what's stopping one of the ants or Sabrina from looking up in the magic book how to shrink a magic beanstalk? And they're being like, oh, just yell timber at it.
I like that positing you are proposing.
The scene flips and Harvey is on the couch with Zelda placing the X-ray helmet on him as Sabrina and Hilda watch. Harvey wakes up yelling about the witch when Sabrina takes the helmet off, telling him he must really be enjoying the virtual reality game. Sabrina tells him they need to get back to their project and she will never procrastinate again. But Harvey asks if she wants to make brownies and eat the dough, and they run off to the kitchen as Zelda laughs.
Once again, we must bring into light the gaslighting and memory erasures this boy has gone through, and no wonder he eats the jelly beans.
This will pay off at the end, I guarantee you. All of the memory spells, it pays off, I think, in a nice way. It's not nice at first, but eventually becomes nice. In our end tag, Hilda asks where Salem is because he didn't come home for dinner. Sabrina opens the door to the porch and yells for him. They hear him whining that he can't move, and Sabrina finds an empty fatten up sprinkles container on the ground. Salem ate them and is now huge. He cries and asks for a diet soda. And this giant Salem puppet is the one that I thought we were going to see when Salem got stuck in the cat door and had to go on the diet.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why I was really confused when I'm like, but he's not fat, because we see this Salem later on. All right. We did it. We got through it.
We did.
With only a few derailments on our monorail of a podcast. Our next episode is season 2, episode 17, The Equalizer. What are your thoughts on this one, Skye?
The Equalizer is a movie, right? But no, it came out
is it?
after. Yeah, it's a Vin Diesel movie, but it came out in the 2000s.
Yeah, it's 2014.
Was there a TV series?
Oh, from 1985 to 1989, yes.
Cool. So I think it's going to reference that TV series called The Equalizer. Miss Quick is now the algebra teacher. Is teaching people how math works and how you proportion things evenly, thus becoming the equalizer.
I'll give you a little hint.
Okay.
There's a character returning for this episode that we haven't seen since season 1.
Oh, is this a Roland episode?
I'm not telling you.
Roland comes back for vengeance because Harvey beat him at Swordcraft and becomes the equalizer.
We will have to see next week. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this one. In the meantime, as you wait for that super exciting episode, you can like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod and TikTok at something.witchy.pod. Until next time,
stay magical.